Imagine walking down a street holding a simple black umbrella while an angry mob throws garbage at your face.
Today, we worship innovation, but history hides a dark glitch. Humanity hates anything new.
In fact, our first reaction to progress isn't curiosity, it's actual physical violence. We start on a freezing, rain-slicked street in 1750s London. The clouds open up, and you have two choices. Pay a massive fee for a horse carriage, or get soaked to the bone.
Jonas Hanway wants a third choice. He steps onto the wet cobblestones and unfolds a strange foreign device he brought from France. A large, black umbrella. To us, it is a boring, everyday object. But to the crowd watching, it is an offensive abomination. Coach drivers see this fabric on sticks as a direct threat to their business. Suddenly, the street explodes. They scream insults, pelting Jonas with trash. Pedestrians join in, mocking his manhood. Jonas faces a choice: fold the umbrella and blend in, or stand his ground against an entire city. Jonas refuses to hide his invention. Therefore, he carries his umbrella through the rain every single day for 30 brutal years, clutching the wooden handle while mud splashes his coat. He walks through shouting crowds, forcing himself to ignore the carriage drivers who try to run him over. But Jonas dies before the abuse ever stops, leaving behind a city that still laughs at his memory. Therefore, only after his body is in the ground does the public finally touch the fabric, realizing that staying dry is actually a brilliant idea. But this violent hatred of the new is not just about rain gear. It stretches all the way to the stars. In 1543, Nicholas Copernicus looks at the night sky and drafts a terrifying theory. The sun, not the earth, is the center of our solar system. He knows this challenges the literal foundation of our universe, but Copernicus realizes that changing the sky will be treated as an act of war against society, threatening his very life. Therefore, he holds on to his manuscript, so terrified of the public reaction that he delays publishing his work until he is literally taking his final breaths on his deathbed. But his hidden books are eventually printed, leaking the dangerous truth to the next generation. Decades later, Galileo Galilei builds his own telescope to prove Copernicus was right. He peers through the glass, mapping a vast, deep, wild universe where the Earth is just a spinning rock orbiting a giant star. But this truth is too heavy for the rulers of his day. The Roman Inquisition accuses Galileo of heresy, dragging him into their stone chambers. Under the direct threat of physical torture, Galileo is forced to kneel on the cold floor and deny his life's work, spending his remaining years locked away under strict, silent house arrest. But why did a spinning earth cause an inquisition? And why did an umbrella cause a riot? We have to look inside our own skulls, where our brains are wired as survival machines, not progress machines. For 99% of human history, doing things the old way kept our ancestors alive. Eating the familiar berry meant safety,
while trying the new berry meant instant death.
But new ideas force us to admit we were wrong, triggering a massive ego injury. Therefore, our brains fight to the death to avoid that shame. But this defense mechanism does not stay in the past. We see the exact same survival glitch happening right now on our screens. Every comfort and piece of technology we take for granted was once a hated, radical idea. But when we look at today's innovations, our first instinct is still to reject them.
Therefore, we mock new ideas before we even try to understand them.
So what is a modern technology getting hated on right now that might actually change your entire world? And are you brave enough to look past your own fear?